The story of Nome, North Dakota begins in the year 1900 during a period of rapid railroad expansion across the northern plains. The Northern Pacific Railroad built a branch line from Castleton to Marion, North Dakota. Construction crews began laying track on the 60-mile branch on April 23, 1900, and the rail line reached Marion later that same year. And along that line, new towns began to appear across the prairie. Nome was one of those towns. Henry Wilberg was the first businessman to establish himself along the tracks in 1900. Just south of where the depot would be built, his business consisted of an open shed containing building lumber and materials. As the railroad moved westward, local farmer Martin Wilberg saw opportunity in the open prairie and convinced Charles Ferguson, another farmer, owner of the property, to plat land for a town site. At the time, many were skeptical that a successful town could grow there, but Wilberg believed the railroad would make Nome an important community. Charles Ferguson later added several additions to the town site, while Ole Smested contributed additional land that helped the community continue to grow. Soon after, Wilberg partnered with Even Hansen to establish Nome's first indoor general merchandise business. Their store quickly became one of the first major businesses in the community and played an important role in the town's early development. Upstairs, the building housed Nome's first town hall and served as a gathering place for public meeting, dances, celebrations, parties, and other community events. During Nome's earliest years, it stood at the center of both the town's business activity and its social life. Lumber, coal, and building supplies arrived by rail, providing the materials needed to construct the first buildings in what would become Nome. By 1903, Nome had only around 40 residents and 5 businesses, but growth came quickly. Within just a few years, the town expanded to include lumber yards, grain elevators, stores, professional offices, and even a local newspaper and doctor. The streets of early Nome were rough prairie roads lined with wooden false front buildings, typical of frontier towns across the Midwest. Horse-drawn wagons moved through muddy streets while merchants, farmers, railroad workers, and families worked to build a future in the middle of the North Dakota plains. As the town grew, businesses of every kind appeared along Main Street. Merchants, bankers, implement dealers, hotels, restaurants, professional offices, and many other enterprises served both the town and the surrounding farmer community. By the early 20th century, Nome had become a busy commercial center for the surrounding countryside. Farmers came to the town to conduct business, purchase supplies, visit professionals, attend community events, and socialize with neighbors. Main Street bustled with activity as residents and visitors moved from store to store, making Nome an important gathering place throughout the region. William Herzog arrived in Nome in 1912 as the Northern Pacific Depot agent and served the community for 50 years until his retirement when the depot closed. The depot was later sold and moved out of Nome. 4 grain elevators stood as symbols of the town's importance to the surrounding farming region, and a cattle-holding pen near the Northern Pacific Rail Line allowed livestock to quickly be loaded onto trains bound for market. Zion Lutheran Church was organized in 1906 and served the Nome community for more than a century. Due to declining membership and increasing maintenance costs, the church permanently closed on June 24, 2012, bringing an end to over 106 years of continuous service to the community. The building mysteriously burned down in March of 2017. Education was important to the growing community. Early wooden school buildings served children until the brick Nome schoolhouse was constructed in 1916. The school educated generations of local children before the high school closed in 1966 and the grade school closed in 1970, with students then attending school in either Fingal or Enderlin, North Dakota. For many families, the school was far more than a place of education. School programs, athletic events, concerts, graduations, and community gatherings brought residents together throughout the years. Generations of students passed through its halls, creating memories that remained with them long after leaving the community. Banking played a vital role in Nome's growth. Several banks served the community through the decades, providing financial support to farms, businesses, and families despite fires, economic challenges, and changing times. Like many other institutions in Nome, they reflected both the opportunities and challenges of life on the prairie. Electric power arrived in 1917 through transmission lines from Valley City, bringing modern conveniences and street lighting to the town for the first time. Fire repeatedly shaped Nome's history. Several major fires destroyed businesses, landmarks, and commercial buildings while altering the appearance of the community across the decades. In October of 1920, a massive fire began on the west end of Main Street. Fueled by strong winds, the flames spread rapidly through the business district, destroying building after building as residents fought desperately to save what they could using limited firefighting equipment and scarce water supplies. The Welland Hotel and Nome Mercantile Building suffered damage to its west wall, but survived the fire. The 1920 fire changed Nome forever. Unlike the earlier rebuilding after the 1909 fire, the south side of Main Street was not rebuilt and was eventually made into a park. The fire marked a turning point in the physical shape of the town and left a lasting gap in what had once been part of Nome's active business district. Fire once again altered the course of Nome's history when the PV elevator complex burned down on March 17, 1959. For generations, the elevators had represented the agriculture strength of Nome and its importance as a shipping center for area farmers. Although the PV elevator complex was lost in the 1959 fire, one elevator remained standing in Nome for another 20 years. Vacant and deteriorating, it became the last surviving reminder of the town's once thriving grain history. In 1979, the final elevator was torn down by Jack Culp and Jim Storhoff, bringing an end to a chapter that had begun with 4 elevators, serving farmers from across the surrounding countryside. Telephone service connected Nome to neighboring communities for generations, helping reduce the isolation of prairie life and supporting the town's growth and development. Despite its small size, Nome produced inventors whose contributions reached regional, national, and even international audiences. Among them were Albert Hoyland, Henry Wilberg, and Ron Anderson, whose creativity, ingenuity, and accomplishments demonstrated that world-changing ideas can emerge from even the smallest of communities. Recreation and community organizations played an important role in daily life. Sporting events, dances, community gatherings, veterans groups, youth organizations, civic clubs, and volunteer efforts helped shape the character and identity of Nome across generations. Community life extended far beyond work and farming. Residents gathered for baseball games, school activities, dances, holiday celebrations, community suppers, and special events throughout the year. These occasions strengthened friendships, built lasting traditions, and helped create a strong sense of belonging among families in Nome and the surrounding countryside. Even so, the people of Nome continued to fight to preserve their town, their history, and their identity. In 1983, Randy Peterson was inspired to create a book about the Nome community. That inspiration led to a meeting of local residents and eventually the formation of the Nome Community Historical Association, established to preserve the stories, photographs, and memories of the community for future generations. With much work and research, the book Nome Community History 1984 was made available in the fall of 1984. The effort to preserve Nome's history continued long after the book was published. Although the community experienced declining population, closed businesses, and the loss of many historic buildings, the people of Nome never abandoned their commitment to preserve their heritage. Beginning in 2018, one of the community's most recognizable landmarks entered a new chapter. The historic 1916 Nome Schoolhouse, which had stood vacant for decades after closing in 1970, was purchased and transformed through an ambitious restoration effort. Over several years, the building was carefully renovated and reimagined as a destination that combined history, education, hospitality, events, and fiber arts while preserving much of the character that generations of students once knew. What had once appeared on websites documenting abandoned places became a symbol of renewal. Original features were preserved, historic artifacts were returned to the building, and former students once again walked through its halls. By 2021, the restored Nome Schoolhouse had reopened, bringing new visitors, new activity, and new life to a landmark that had long stood at the center of the community. In many ways, the restoration reflected the same determination that built Nome in the first place. While the town had changed through the decades, its history had not been forgotten. The rebirth of the Nome Schoolhouse became a reminder that even after years of decline, preservation, vision, and community effort can give new purpose to the landmarks that connect generations. Because in the end, towns are not only made of buildings, railroads, elevators, or streets, they are made of people. And the story of Nome is ultimately the story of resilience, hardship, community, and the enduring spirit of the North Dakota prairie.
I see a bright future for Nome. I think if we can get more young families to come into Nome, have more, things available for them. Wherever there's children, things flourish. So I think Nome could grow that way.
We have a lot of people that come from out of state that pass through, and they enjoy our shop, and they like spending time here to look at all our neat things that we make and antiques that we pick up.
With the schoolhouse and that being here, I think it's going to be a plus for everything. And also with manufacturing building being put up, I think that's going to bring people to town as well. It's a good little place to live, and there's all hope for it here.
I feel like I see it going towards a very cute, walkable community that really embraces art and craft.
The future for Nome that I see is helping it grow, but not making it too big, making it more of an artist community. We got the schoolhouse here, I got my forge, we've got the arts and crafts place starting up, and just turning this into an artist community where people can come in and learn how to blacksmith, make knives, do the fleecing, make the stuff they're gonna be doing at Sasha's place, and then have other people coming in, and just turning this into a nice little hidden gem to just come and learn.
Hi, I'm Chris Armbrust, owner of the Nome Schoolhouse, and I would just like to say my vision, what I feel the city of Nome is destined for, is to be a maker's mecca of the world. We've got so many folks that are moving in that are creative, artistic. The city is on the grow. We've got new housing going in, and it's going to be amazing.
As I look to Nome's future, I see new possibilities. Chris Armbrust and the Nome Schoolhouse have shown what vision and determination can accomplish. Their work is bringing new energy, new visitors, and new opportunities to the community.